Hey, good morning, everyone. Mark, your motivation dealer, back with you this morning on a Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. All right, today, episode 285. Long title on this one, but episode 285. You do have the time. You just haven't properly prioritized, and you haven't put yourself first. So that's what we need to do. We need to put ourselves first. And Les Brown had a great saying, said, never work, and I think it's Les Brown, it might have been Jim Rohn, but I think it was Les Brown, said, don't ever work harder on your job than you do on yourself. So the problem isn't I love the excuse when people tell me, I just don't have the time. Bullshit, you don't have the time. You have the time. We all have 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of time in a day. The question is, what are you doing with your time? I touched on this a little bit yesterday. I talked about this a lot. We have so many wasted hours of our day doing nonsensical things that don't get you closer to your dream, that don't get you pushing closer to what the dream that you're trying to step into. If you actually looked and wrote down and focused on all of the minutes in every day and what you do during those times, you're going to see how many hours you waste. So I don't want to sit here and do the math with you, but again, if you look at an 8-hour workday and you sleep 6 or 8 and you look at how much time it takes to eat and to take care of yourself, your morning routine or whatever, you're going to find you have 4 or 5 hours every single day, and what you do with those 4 or 5 hours is the game changer. What you do with those 4 or 5 hours is going to determine what your life looks like. If you spend those 4 or 5 hours scrolling through social, if you waste those 4 or 5 hours watching Netflix and watching useless television, if you use those 4 or 5 hours playing video games, if you use those 4 or 5 hours just wasting time, you're never going to have the life that you want, the life that you talk about, the life that you deserve. So it's what you do with those extra hours that makes all the difference in the world. So you do have the time. I used to a lot of times do internet marketing programs, and my favorite excuse was, I'd love to do that. That sounds awesome, but I just don't have the time. And if you actually help someone sit down and look at the amount of time that they waste, you're telling me are you honestly telling me that you don't have an hour a day to get yourself physically fit? Are you telling me that you work so much that you don't have an hour a day to lengthen your life and to improve the quality of your life? You can find an hour a day, and even if you don't think that you honestly have an hour a day, then sacrifice an hour of sleep. That's what you got to do. And the problem is you don't prioritize yourself first. You don't put yourself first. It's just like when they talk about your finances, you're supposed to pay yourself first before you pay everybody else. This is the same concept. You've got to pay yourself first. You've got to prioritize you. You've got to put yourself first. And so if you have to get up at 6 a.m. for work, then you get up at 5 a.m. and you go exercise. And that's what you have to do. If you don't have time for a business that you want to start, you really don't have the time. If you sit down and crunch the numbers and you punt all leisure and you work 3 jobs and you've got, an hour a day to do anything, then you take that hour. Or if that's the 1 hour that you need, I'm not saying kill yourself to the point where you break. If you need that hour a day to unwind, that's fine. Use that hour a day to unwind. That's a part of your mental health and part of your physical health. So if you need that hour, take that hour. But that means you're going to sacrifice an hour of sleep. You're going to get up an extra hour early and you're going to do it. And so you've got to prioritize you. You've got to put yourself first. And this isn't being selfish. This is doing what you need to do to make stuff happen. This is you doing what you need to do to grow. This is you doing what you need to do to become better, to step into your greatness, to develop your mind, to start that business, to improve that relationship. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, that's what you need to do. So prioritize yourself first. Make sure you're putting you before everybody else. And yes, that job that you're going to, like the job that I'm going to right now, pays the bills. And so that is a necessary thing. I'm not saying it's not. But I have to put me first. So even though I only have to be at the office by 8 o'clock, and I try to be there by 7:30 so that I can prepare myself, even though I only have to be there at 8 o'clock, I get up at 5 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. so I have the time that I need to get the exercise in, to shower, to do all my morning routine, to listen to motivation, to do all of the stuff that I know I need to do on a regular basis. And I do it no matter how I feel. Yesterday, Mondays I typically do strength training. And because I haven't exercised all weekend, because I do 4 days during the week, Monday through Thursday, and then I weigh in on Friday, because I've had 3 days off from it, on Mondays I usually feel pretty good. And I do a really hard workout because my muscles aren't sore, I feel good. But on Tuesday I get up and I'm extra tired because I got up early on Monday, and all weekend I had a chance to rest, and Monday morning I feel pretty good. It catches up with me on Tuesday, and so Tuesday morning my muscles are sore from the hard workout yesterday, and I don't feel like exercising. And now it's the second day in a row I've gotten up early, and this morning I'm really, really tired. So Tuesday mornings I'm really tired. It's much tougher to get up on Tuesday morning than it is on Monday morning for me. All right, I'm just talking about me. I'm not saying it's the way it should be for everybody. But I do what I know I need to do regardless of how I feel. Your feelings are insignificant. Your feelings do not count. Your feelings do not get a say. I wake up at 5, I listen to motivation, I get up at 5:30 out of bed, and at 5:30 on the button, I watch the clock from 5:29 to 5:30, and at 5:30 I rip the covers off and I jump out of bed, and I do it kind of violently so that I get myself going in the morning. And that's a promise I made to myself. That's a promise I keep to myself every morning. So at 5:30 a.m. the covers come ripping off, no matter how comfy I am, no matter how warm it is, no matter how cold it is outside, whatever. 5:30 I jump out of bed and I hit the elliptical, I hit my workout, I do whatever it is that I'm supposed to do that day. So you've got to prioritize you. And one of the things that I need to start building, and I kind of got away from it, is reading. And so I might have to take an hour of my night and read, or half an hour of my night, or whatever. So you've got to punt the leisure. You've got to do what's necessary. You've got to find and make the time. You've got to pay you first.
Watch out. Vehicle
You've
on
got to
shoulder
prioritize you first. And once you prioritize you, whatever's left, that's what you can give to other people. That's what you can do to spend leisure time. That's what you can do to unwind. That's what you can do to mentally give yourself a break. And I need that as much as anyone else, maybe more. So you're allowed to unwind. I'm not saying you're not able to. But you've got to do what's necessary to pay yourself first. Prioritize you first. Put your needs ahead of everything else, and make sure that you're doing what you need to do, and that you're working as hard on your dream as you are on your job. Make sure you're working as hard on your dream as you're working on your job. If you're putting in 8 hours at the job, you better be putting a couple hours in on yourself, on your dream, and making it happen. And eventually, your dream will replace that 8-hour job, and you'll have much more time for the things that you enjoy. But you've got to prioritize you first. And again, it's not being selfish. It's what's necessary for you to be successful. It's what's necessary for you to make an impact. It's what's necessary for you to have the life that only other people only ever dream of. So work hard today. Lose the sleep today. Put in the effort today so that you can have the things that other people won't have. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Watch out. And So I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Like, share, and comment as always. I appreciate you taking your time to watch this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.